Okay, I'd got this little mannequin a while back, and she had some clothes on it one time, and I ripped them off. And so I unscrewed the little knob and took her off. She was one solid piece. And then I took, carefully, a razor and cut her apart, where I could put paper mache on the inside. What I did this time don't have to be smooth, but I think I'll get a smoother finish if I put paper mache inside instead on the outside. And if you do this, do it at your own risk. What I did, I'd get it going, and then I'd just use the razor to punch in a little area at a time instead of trying to drag the razor down. Because not only could you cut crooked, you could cut yourself, you know, so I didn't want to cut my finger off. And so, what I experimented with is I made this. My towels make some pretty pink dryer lint. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to throw it away. So, I saved it and made this out of it. I'll have to seal her somehow, so I don't know how she'll look after that. But I just mixed the lint with glue and water. And I got it thin as I could and put it down in here. And if there was a little spot, I'd poke a piece there, you know. And then I waited forever for it to dry. I should have squeezed the lint out better. Squeezed all that, well, not all, but most of the glue and water out. And then I put a little cardboard box over our floor vent for our heat. And I'd slide them up there under that box where, you know, the air would try to dry it quicker. And, what was I getting at? After I got the dryer lint put in there, I got paper towels and some glue and water and put paper towels on top of the lint. And it made it really stiff. Because, well, she probably won't make a noise, but she wouldn't have been that stiff, I don't believe, without that. And what I did after she dried and I had the two halves, I had this opening that never matches up right, you know, and it had gaps and all. So I put paper towel through here in little skinny strips, and I barely had enough of the lint left to cover the strips. And now she's one piece. But I won't do it again because I use the bathroom towels that I dry my hair on, and apparently I lose hair like a madman. Really. And I couldn't pull them out because they get all tangled up in the lint. You know, I pulled some out, but oh my goodness. So when she was done, I cut some off. It's terrible. Okay. So I'll probably put some kind of coat on her and then I'll show it to you. Okay, this is what I decided to try the sealer with because this is the least shiny of all the protective, it says protective finish, all the sealers that I have. I compared it to the Mod Podge matte sealant, and this one dries more matte finish. Okay, so dip my brush in here. We'll see how it goes because this ain't a smooth surface I'm painting. Oh yeah, that'll go good. And that way she can be cleaned and all that good stuff. Should probably soak up a lot of this stuff. But yeah, this will work. So that's what I'll be doing. You know, I didn't think about how I was going to set her up for this to dry. Because, you know, it would dry and the plastic would probably stick to her. So I got my Reynolds Wrap no stick foil. So hopefully it won't stick to it. And then I'll go back and paint the bottom of it later. You know, after this dries. Okay, I went ahead and for the most part finished her. After I'd put the polyacrylic on her, it made, now if you're squeamish about hair, you might want to go off this video. But, you know, I used the lint from my bath towels. And so all of that hair, you know, I shed like crazy. This one ain't bald. All that hair, after I put the clear stuff on it, it showed up big time. And I could pick some out, but don't use dryer lint from bath towels. Like, I couldn't give this as a gift or sell it, you know. Even though, so I decided to disguise the ones I couldn't get. I went in, it was some of the glaze and the ink colored Waverly paint. And it was just too black. Let me show you the bottom. See, I started there and it was just, that didn't look right. So I lightly put it in some other little places, and then I decided just to go with this. If you remember in some of my other videos, my Powerade mix, it's a glaze with some light brown paint. And I've got it so thinned with glaze that I had to put some of the Mannequin wax from Waverly in it. And so I got a lot of the brown stuff on her. And that filled in all those cracks. And then she's just, you know, kind of plain looking. So I found these that I had got at Goodwill probably. Yeah, it was 49 cents at Goodwill. And I'll use that paper on the back too. But anyway, they're cute little stickers with initial J, and I don't need that. So I took that one, cut the J out. I don't know what I do with the rest of it. I need to find it, but anyway. So this little wreath, it was kind of like this one. I was going to put it all the way around, but it was too little, so I just cut out a section and put there. And then I put some of that, you know, the antique and wax mixture stuff on it. And glued it on there. And I done the same thing with the rose off of this. That stuff's so pretty. Let's see what the name of it is. Okay. And then, it was looking good. Except over here, there was a lot of cracks and stuff. Let me see if I can find a place on the back. Not really. But over here, it looked like torn flesh. Because there's so many cracks. And I'm like, okay, that just looks gross. So, I dipped this in the Mod Podge. Let's see, what's it called? Let me get the bottle here. That. I kind of dipped it in it. And just laid it on there. And I also put a little glue. Let's see if it's holding right there. Yeah. And the only thing about the Mod Podge is it kind of... I'm going to have to use something else. I think it's bothering my sinuses. Oh, there's the rest of that wreath. See how white? Which would have been cute, you know, white with it, but I had to go with the dark to disguise some things. I know. But, what was I getting at? Okay. And after this dries, I'm going to forget the Mod Podge and go with that polyacrylic again. And I'll put more layers of the polyacrylic on it. And, where that can be clean too. So there she is. I think she turned out pretty. And I'm not going to put her on a stand or anything because, you know, I got a group of them. And they're all on little stands, so she'll be the shorter one. So, you know, where they'll have varying heights. Okay, now I'm going to put this on her. And I was thinking I would put Mod Podge or something. I'll tell you about the rest of her later, but right now I just realized she's a little different. I can't find my straight pins. So I kind of gathered that there, and I want this to stick up a little bit. And so I'll just hold enough up there. And we'll have this come around. It's about there. Stick this, if I can get it through this heavily glued area. Alright. And I'm going to use wood glue to glue these pieces down. And then up here I want that sticking up. So I'll probably like glue it there and maybe here. Just something to make it stay up by itself. But she looks like plastic now. Because I just went over a Mod Podge to help kind of disguise the fact that that's kind of thick paper, not thin like tissue paper would be. Tissue paper would look good on some of these. I'm going to order some. I just don't ever get around to it. But see how this material looks plastic, so I'm not sure I want to do it to the lace, but the lace is going to be glued on, so when it gets nasty, it's going to be nasty. You know what I mean? So, that's what I did, and she was a little bit more full, and she got a breast reduction by my cat, so I kind of tried to reduce that one too, because you know she's still a little pliable. And I had a box over it on the heater vent where all that Mod Podge would finish drying, and my cat decided that was a good place to sleep. So her bottom's that thin now. Remember, her bottom was ugly. So she was all squished there. See, I still don't have that one in as much, but see how she gives the lint, even though I got paper towels behind it. And I don't know if there's still moisture in there or what, but she's just not as strong as I'd like her to be. But you know, she's on a stand that, let me see, it's hard to tell with my finger in the way, but that's how she'll look. And I scrubbed a little more of the antiquing off because my boyfriend said she don't look as pink as she used to. So I was scrubbing because she did look a little on the brown side from that antiquing stuff. So that's what I'm fixing to do. I'm fixing to do work on the lace. Okay, what I've done now is I took this seam ripper and poked a hole in the top and bottom, and then I ran this little wire up in there just to make sure there was clearance, and then I put this screw, I screwed it in there just to make the opening pretty big, and there she is. And I'm going to glue this down here and glue this right here, and then she will be done. I've already got that glued where those needles are. Now I've got to try to get the needles out. I'm going to turn them and then start pulling them out as I'm turning, so that it don't just pull everything away. Okay, and here she is with the rest of the gang, or part of the rest of the gang. I got a couple more in other rooms. I'll put a link up to that one I did. It's a long video. I was experimenting, so I might have to skip forward through it just to find what you need to know. And let me zoom in on her. She turned out pretty. She's squishy though. So, yeah, I would use paper or something if I was going to use lint. And I would use lint from something besides towels. I got that at the thrift store. I got that at the thrift store. That was $1.25, I think. The stand it's on at the thrift store. I got her at a thrift store, the original plastic it was on it. All these. Now the frames I've had. I love these things. But anyway, enough about that. Oh, I decided to pull part of her little, I guess you call it shawl, back behind her shoulder, just to have more of a mannequin shape showing. But I didn't glue it behind it, that way I can change my mind. Not that I ever do that. But there she is. And it's a pretty little stand that it came on. So it might would look better gold, but I think having different, like the brass and the silver and all that, I think that looks pretty good. But anyway, let me know what you think. And hit the like button if you like it, because that really helps me out. Bye, y'all.